Give me 1 second.
Wanted to make sure I can have both you guys in frame.
All right. What's up, guys? You know I didn't hit the 30-second time. Are we going?
No, I need to.
Which one? I'm gonna hit the show. Act like you didn't
Can
see
we?
this. I gotta get that out. What's up, guys? Coach David here with Metro Jiu-Jitsu, here with our head instructor,
Hey, Coach Muhammad.
Professor Muhammad. So we got some awesome questions, and this episode is gonna be a little bit shorter. And by short, I mean probably 45 minutes or so. We're gonna cover some awesome topics. First, how you feeling today, Coach? You good?
Doing good. I'm doing good.
Right on.
Yeah.
Okay. So are you drinking tea? Black tea?
Yeah, I am.
Why, bro? Black tea. Have you ever noticed how tea will get twice or 3 times as hot as coffee? Make a fresh thing of coffee, fresh thing of tea. Like, I can't drink tea for like 2 hours because.
Are you taking shots at me drinking tea?
No. I'm not. I'm just saying because I drink tea as well. In fact, Amanda's got this really bougie, like white girl, like hot cinnamon spice tea. It comes in like a tin. We can't even get it from the store anymore. Apparently, we have to import our tea from Amazon. But I say that to say like it stays hotter.
Okay.
And so like if I'm like make tea, I just have to plan to not like I literally made tea for 4 p.m. class, came, put in my little Yeti, which keeps it hot for life, and then I didn't drink it until 9 p.m.
Well,
so,
you know what?
so hot.
I just had to get this off my chest. I've been waiting to say it. David Fox is the biggest nerd and geek you will ever meet. So
I'm not going to argue that, but what?
Okay.
How does that have to do with tea? I'm not going to argue.
I just
that.
had to get it off my chest.
Okay, all
my
right.
partner is a nerd.
Okay.
And I guess I am too.
Well, yeah. I mean, it should. I feel like you have to be partnered to like excel in jiu-jitsu.
What?
I feel like you have to be partnered to excel in jiu-jitsu.
What exactly does that mean?
Part nerd. Like you have to be some type of nerd to really excel. To reach black belt.
Part nerd.
Part
See?
nerd. Like you have to be like.
Again.
I feel like you have to like if you're gonna get black belt level of jiu-jitsu, like you've got to be some part of you's got to be pretty nerdy. Case in point, you watch Karate Kid. Okay, it was kind of a nerdy show in the 80s, right?
In the 80s it was, but
Okay.
today you're actually cool if you watch the black.
Well, sure, you're hopping on the trend. You're hopping on Cobra Kai, though. You're hopping on Cobra Kai. But you grew up, you cut your teeth on Karate Kid.
Yeah, I did.
So that's why I feel like any high level, and I'll take this full higher. Like even you look at Coach Alvarez, Professor Alvarez. Have you ever been to like sat through one of his classes?
Yeah.
His illustrations, his metaphors,
Yeah.
are like, what did you just say? Like he'll pull in movie references and book references and game references that are his contemporaries will get, but I don't get because I didn't watch his shows.
Yeah.
And you're like, how are
call
you?
him gangster?
He is gangster. Yeah. How are you making that connection? You know, like so I feel like you have to be partnered to really understand that. So
Okay.
so calling me a nerd,
Nerd.
plus it's the age of the geek, so I have no like now it's cool to be a nerd. Today's nerds are like
Cool.
yesterday's jocks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah.
But we're gonna get right into our first. There's a random dog walking across the parking lot. I'm gonna not be distracted by that. We're gonna get right into our first question, and it's, what is your comfort zone? We just got off a call about this, and what would get you out of it? What would be something that would be so getting you out of your comfort zone?
Heights for me.
Heights?
It'd be heights. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, watching. You ever see those clips on like YouTube or Facebook or those reels where they're like walking along the edge of the mountain?
Oh, tight wire?
Yeah.
Or like a trail on the edge of the mountain?
Bungee jumping, like construction workers on the edge of a mountain that are meant to scare you when you look at it.
Bungee jump. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Like just close call videos or highlights or whatever. Like they almost fall.
Yeah, no, these are like adrenaline junkies.
Oh,
So
okay.
for me, anything related to heights, like if I take a ladder up on the roof, changing the filter or doing something with the HVAC unit.
Okay.
You know, of the two of us, Professor Muhammad is scared to go on top of the roof.
Okay.
But of the two of
Okay.
us, Professor Muhammad always ends up on the top of the roof.
It's not by I feel like that's good for you. But I also feel like that's a little bit out of necessity. So what is something that you could choose to do to like get into that? Like what's something you could actively choose to do?
So there was like a couple years when I was on a competing spree, and I actually went rock climbing.
Like actual rock climbing?
Actual rock
Oh
climbing.
wow.
And
Where
I
at?
did some local places that had really high indoor rock climbing.
Oh, okay. Okay.
One was in Pontiac, Michigan.
Oh, like Planet Rock and then.
Yeah.
Okay, right on.
Yeah, and for me, I was really, really scared. I was really, really scared, very uncomfortable. But so what got me out of the comfort zone is actually going to do it, and that's what I did.
Okay. When was the last time you did something like that?
It's been a while.
Mine would be okay. So we're gonna sign you up to go skydiving. Mine would be the we actually almost did. We almost booked a trip.
Yeah.
A team trip for that.
Yeah, Amanda and
Yeah, they
Nancy,
vetoed it. Didn't they?
Yeah,
They nixed it.
talked
They're
about
they're
life
like yes,
insurance policy.
yeah.
Let me check the
They're
coverage.
like
make
yeah.
sure we get-
He's like that. Which by the way, like skydiving, nicks it off entirely. Like if you're
if you die,
I guess if you go skydiving, they don't pay out. I don't know. Does anyone here do life insurance? Let us know. Let us know if that's the case. Water boils at 2:12. Tea or coffee. Okay. All right. Thanks, Mark. I'm just telling you what my taste bud knows about how hot they get, man. So my comfort zone would be I don't know. I feel like I usually do like a lot of things like new experiences. Case in point, I've never killed anything in my life. I take that back. I killed a bird one time, but like I've never like actually gone hunting.
How'd you kill a bird?
I shot it.
Oh,
yeah, like I shot it like a BB gun, in the country. Like
that wasn't for hunting purposes.
No,
I
was just like 10 and had
rebellious.
10 and had a BB gun.
Okay.
Yeah, so we killed like 10 or 12 of them, and because they were moving targets. Like that's all we had. So, but I've never actually gone hunting, like hunting a deer, where things like you mentioned, eat the meat, you eat what you kill type thing.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going hunting this Saturday for the first time to actually try and kill a deer, and I have no problem. I'm fully prepared to kill a deer. I'm not nervous about that. What I'm nervous about is gutting the deer. I don't like that at all. Like I just kind of want to like kill it and then be like, all right, someone can clean up the mess. But from what I understand, that's not how it works. Like you have to get out there with like a knife in the woods and like gut this thing, and then it like smells like dead intestines or deer intestines to empty the weight, and then you have to like if you butcher it yourself, now you're dealing with that whole process. Makes me very uncomfortable. So on one level, I'm like, well, I really want to go and kill something so I don't waste my time. On the other level, I was like, I don't really want to kill something because I don't want to have to get my hands covered in deer blood. You ever thought of it? Have you ever been hunting?
Actually, after you booked your hunting trip, I have an old friend named Rockin' Bob.
Rockin' Bob?
Yep. Bob used to live on
He sounds like a bad dude.
he is.
Tough guy. Okay.
Rockin' Bob is a bad dude. He lived on Groseal for many, many years, decided to move out into Bronson, Michigan.
Bronson?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like 2 hours, 2-3 hours away from here.
Okay.
But anyway, after you booked your trip, I'm like, you know what? If David does this before me, I'm going to be so pissed at myself because for the last 10 years, I'm like, I want to go hunting. I'm like, somebody please, adopt a hunter.
Yeah, right.
But
So
it doesn't work that
get
way.
an apprentice. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm actually going next week also.
That's what's up. That's one. So you're not nervous at all about gutting a deer? I am, and maybe it's just me.
No, I'm looking forward to that part.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I'm squeamish.
I asked
man.
if I could bring my own knife or what
Wow.
I need to do.
Wow, you're serious about it though.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's real serious.
You know what I'm nervous about is the our brains go 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
We have our projects that we do outside of Metro.
Yeah, sure.
And how am I gonna embrace the leaves? I asked my buddy. I'm like, well, can I be on my phone? Can I smoke a cigar? I mean,
right.
He's like, well, not if you want to get a deer, but I think the hardest thing is going to be enjoying the quiet.
Okay, yeah, the without the distraction of like the city.
Yeah.
You're just out in the tree. Yeah, I am.
Like, let me call this guy, or let me take care of this. Or let me knock this off my list.
Yeah. I'm not. I get that. I'm just not expecting for it to be cold. But I do hope I kill something.
Yeah.
So I'll let you know if I come in with a deer head next week. You guys know what happened.
I did just buy a pair of used 1,000-gram insulated boots on eBay.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I it's a little pro tip from the trades, right?
Okay.
Double insulated socks, hand warmers above your toes in the boots.
Above your toes in the boots.
Yeah, you put them above your toes. So like you like slide, like you you take like your little toes and then you put them on top, and then you put your boot on. You shake your hand warmers, and then you keep them warm too. And then depending how long you're gonna be out there, I'm pretty sure our blind might be heated. So, all right, comfort zones, guys. Put your comfort zones in the chat. What's something that would really make you go outside of your comfort zone? We were actually on a call with a bunch of business owners, and you know how many of them, like 3 or 4 of them said they want to train jiu-jitsu, right? That is a huge limiting comfort zone, even in like 1% performers. They're just like, I don't want some stranger strangling me. Like that, getting outside of that comfort zone, I think is a big deal.
We should get a video of you gutting that fish. Or that
the deer. Yeah. I don't know, man. Like that.
You guys want to see that?
I
get a video
of me gutting a deer. Like you might see me throw up. Honestly, like I'm just saying, like
Is that bad?
I can imagine. Okay, you want to not to get too graphic. The closest that I've ever come to quote unquote gutting a deer is when I had to dress and help heal my wife's botched cesarean open wound. They botched it. I don't know. So the hospitals, because they're medical professionals, so they're really good at their job, botched her cesarean. So she's got an open wound, like literally the size of this, guts and all. And I every single night I had to like dress that, remove the impacting, put a new one in, because they didn't want to stitch it up because they stapled it last time because they botched it. And so like I had to, like, they wanted the wound to sort of heal up naturally and close itself like that.
She doesn't have any sisters?
Nah, man.
How about moms or grandmothers?
Well, okay, so I think it had to happen twice a day. Had to happen at night.
Hope Amanda's not listening.
So she's, I mean, she knows all about this, right? Like, so, but that was my first exposure. Like, I thought it was cool until like you actually like see gore like that. Like you're like, oh yeah, I'll watch a war movie. I'll watch gore. Oh, look at that guy just got dismembered, right? But then it's a much different when you're dealing with like blood and guts in life. And then there's like the sounds and the noises and the smells and all of those things. So that's the closest. And in terms of like fully gutting a deer, I think that's going to be even more. So I do think it will be bad if I have to gut the deer.
Well, maybe I'll take a video. They're putting me up in a tree.
Okay.
Yeah. Rockin' Bob says I got to climb up a tree and just kind of hang out there for the day. And I've never shot a rifle before. Ever.
Oh, you've never shot a gun?
A rifle, never, ever. So I got to go out there a couple hours earlier the day before to shoot it once. And make sure I can.
Are you nervous about missing?
No, I think I'm going to be okay. Yeah.
That was my, like, I asked some other guys, I was like, hey, I'm going hunting. What should I expect? They're like, make sure you practice. And I was like, well, okay. Like, I'm not going to miss with a rifle. Like, I was shooting Tommy guns literally when I was 9 years old. There's a picture of 9-year-old David, like, shooting a Tommy gun. So, like, I'm not really concerned at all. I mean, who knows? I might miss and I come back, but like, had a deer and I missed it. But, like, I'm not concerned about missing because I've shot guns for a very long time. But the blood and gut score is the thing. So we have another question. Chad, can you, like, if you had to turn this, he's got like 18 sentences here. What's the question? Can you rephrase your question to where it makes more sense? And while you think of that, I'm going to pull up Christian's. What's Christian's there? He says, what personality traits do you feel are undervalued in the human population? Personality traits. I would say personality traits that are most undervalued is, and it's kind of a two-part answer, it's humility. Because when you hear humility, what do you think? Like, give me like paint me a picture of someone who is humble.
That's what I was going to say, humble.
Okay, so paint me, like, what does that look like? Paint me a picture of what a humble person looks like.
Honestly, first thing that comes to mind is maybe somebody who's like, 70, 80 years old. Like, they can't help but to be way past their prime and, preparing for the last days of their life. I mean, I don't know. I think of somebody who is easy to spot is an older dying man.
An older dying man, not making much noise, not really like making a whole lot of waves type thing.
Yep.
Yeah. That for that exact reason is why I believe humility isn't a value. This is my answer. And we'll get professors in a second. This is my answer because humility, like when people hear this, they're like humility and confidence or humility and well, I guess confidence is the best one. They are antonyms. They are polar opposites. You can be humble or you can be confident. You can be humble or you can be confident. You can't be both. You can be humble or you can humble and arrogant are antonyms, but humble and confident are not. And so when you hear humble, you think of an introvert. We think of the nerd in the corner who like doesn't really talk much, doesn't want to offend anyone or make waves. Or the old man, the meek old man who just kind of like is kind of there in the room, smiling, doesn't do much. Again, not making waves, make sure not to offend anyone. That is not humble. Humble is, listen, I know I've got a lot I could boast about, and I'm going to use it when it's appropriate. So for instance, like I'd be like, you know how many people train with me, knew me in real life outside of here, and they're like worked with me for a long time before they ever learned I trained jiu-jitsu. This is before we opened Metro. And they're like, well, you're like, what? A brown belt? I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm a brown belt. Like I'm a brown belt. And they're like, well, I never knew.
You could snap their arm.
I never knew that. I never knew that.
15
right?
seconds if you wanted to. You did not know that about me.
I never knew that. Well, it's because it didn't really come up. And then everyone else is like, hi, nice to meet you. My name is Grandmaster Sensei, Lord of the Universe. So I'm a 15th degree in karate. And so like they, like there's that other aspect. So it can come up, but like now you're humble enough to say only when it comes up. Now someone asks me for advice. Well, okay, you're asking for my advice. This is my advice I'm giving you based on my 13 years of experience in jiu-jitsu. Like as your coach, I'm giving you this advice. You should do this. If someone says, I need to lose weight. And I say, great. When do we get started? They're like, I don't know. Let me think about it. Like, think for what? For the doctor to tell you have 4 years to live? Like, what are we thinking about? Like, again, this is experience as a coach. So humility, it's possible to be humble and not boast or be arrogant or brag, but use your credentials appropriately and confidently to help other people get out of their own way. So I think like it's undervalued, one, because it's misunderstood. It's defined incorrectly. And so my answer is humility. What would your answer be?
Most
undervalued human character or character trait in society. Or I think he said in the world.
I mean, it goes into like kind of being self-serving, but I would say, I was going to say patience, but I'm going to say maybe we can help our members is being coachable.
Coachable.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Yeah, because
trainable, coachable, absolutely.
Coachable, because I was at this training seminar in Fiji a few years back, and they had us climb these, like, I don't know what the hell it was. It was like a telephone pole or something that shot.
Remind you, he's afraid of heights. Keep going.
I was.
Yeah, I know. I need to remind everyone.
Way up into the sky. And the goal was you have to go up and climb as high as you can, get to the top, and jump down. And I'd say 50 or 60% of the people just could not even make it past half of the pole. And then 3/4 of the way up to the pole, another 50% dropped. Wow. And then
did it get like harder to climb as it went up, or was it they were just they quit on themselves?
Ultimately, I think people quit on themselves. And I'm going to tell you how. So I get up about 3/4 of the way through, and I'm like, oh shit. Like I look down, the pole's getting smaller, the pole's starting to wobble, and all I could do is look down and say, I'm like, man, I got a safety harness, but
you were harnessed. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. If I'm harnessed, I'm good. Keep going.
Yeah, but I'm like, let me just jump because I just physically can't hold on.
Sure.
So I look down, and then I I look down, I have a coach down there, and that was my life coach actually.
Right on.
And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do exactly what she tells me to do, and I'm just going to follow every word she says.
Right.
And I literally listened to every word, every vowel. I was like, her voice was echoing in my head. I did that, and I ended up making it up.
That's what's up.
And right when I got on top, if you're able to, if you're a peak performer, you can actually step onto it and then jump off. So I was able to make it to the top, literally about this wide, step onto it and jump off. But I learned that day that if you're coachable and you give somebody else that you trust the ability to direct you, and if they've directed other successful people, then you are going to have the same success of all the other people that they coach. So being coachable, I think, is a, and everybody throws that word around easily.
Yeah, it's kind of
man.
It's kind of like,
I'm coachable, man. I'm coachable. Being coachable is doing exactly what the heck the person is coaching you to do. Not what about this or what if this or how about this or how about that. Be like a robot, an Apple program phone where this is exactly how it works. If you're able to do that, I think you can achieve extraordinary levels of success.
I would say that as well, because like we see that, we see that a lot, right? Like someone comes in, and Gerald's got a good question. I'm gonna get to yours in a second about ground fighting. So they come in and they clearly like they need help with an area. It could be something with their kids. It could be their kids' confidence, their discipline, their focus for themselves. Maybe they just want to look better for their spouse so that they can have a better love life, whatever. They want self-defense, whatever they come in for. And so now they're like, of course, it's what we do. Like I can put you in contact with 20 people who are currently on this mat who can tell you how we've helped. And then after about like, once the honeymoon is over, meaning after the first 6 or 8 weeks of jiu-jitsu, guess what becomes harder? Jiu-jitsu, showing up to class, because you're going to have immediate gains of like, wow, I didn't know any of this. And this is great. And I'm starting to see it. And then it's like when you first start working out, you have a lot of muscle gains. And then after that, you're like, this just takes a little bit of time, because as I'm getting better, guess who else is getting better? All the other peers and teammates who trained around you. And so now they're getting more familiar to what you like and your style. And so they think, well, I know coach told me to do it this way. I know coach told me not to eat before class, but Taco Bell is like right there at the corner. So I'm just like going to grab some Taco Bell real quick. Or I know coach told me to get plenty of sleep, or I know coach told me to do this, because like we it's ultimately we're stroking our own ego, saying he doesn't fully know what I'm going through. And so I want to do it my way.
For me, I could pretty much guarantee you, and I put it on paper for anybody, if you come in here and you do exactly what you're told to do, you follow the program, you come to class, and you go through the curriculum, I can guarantee you that you're going to have more success physically, emotionally, and I'll put financially on the table if you come in here and just do your job.
I feel more confident with that as well. Honestly, like you can't separate someone. One of the coaches was talking to me, and he was like, "Yo, I'm talking to you as a coach now, or I want you to talk to me as your coach." And I was like, well, I'll talk to you as David, because David the coach is the same as David the businessman. It's the same as David the father. Like David's David. Yeah. David's David. David Fox. You meet me at Big B or Starbucks, or you meet me in here at the gym. Like, it might be slightly different. I'm going to use words like black belt focus and De La Hiva or whatever in here, but how I treat you as a human isn't really going to change. Yeah. And so we want to separate those things. So like when someone comes in, like, yes, you're going to learn jiu-jitsu, but I would also put like when we talk about sticking with something, being coachable, trainable, being a student, committing to what you said you were going to do, working hard, learning how to go above and beyond what you're asked to do. You're going to tell me those won't translate into the marketplace, into the workplace? Mm-hmm. You're going to tell me those won't earn you more money? No doubt. The desire to rank up, whether it's with your current job or another one, tell you to rank up. Like they go hand in hand. You can't separate and be like, this is my jiu-jitsu life, this is my business life. They go hand in hand. 100%. Absolutely. Gerald's got a good question. Have either of you faced a striker that was adept at ground fighting, kind of like a Lyoto Machida? A what? Lyoto Machida.
Yeah. Well, what's the question?
Have you ever faced a striker that was adept at ground fighting?
Well, if you're referring to a street fight, is that what he's referring to?
Yeah, if you're referring like a street fight, I haven't been in a street fight since I started training jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. I have been into dozens and dozens of fights, but since I started jiu-jitsu, I don't think I have been into a fight. But the irony is when I come to the gym 3-4 days a week, I actually get into a fight 3 times a day.
It's a joke, right? It's like come get beat up so that you don't get beat up.
Yeah.
Like come get beat up every day so that you can keep from getting beat up. Yeah, like that's the joke. So I mean, I think what you're getting at, Gerald, is what if someone knows how to punch and they're adept at ground fighting? Well, adept, like if you're asking me, someone who's adept at ground fighting is like a purple belt or higher. Sorry to all my blue and white belts. I'm sorry. But if someone's adept at ground fighting, they're purple and higher. And so to me, the real threat there is their ground fighting. And the purple belts now they're like cyborgs. They're like mutants. Like the purple belts today are just, man, purple belts they're legit. You know, like to me, it was like white, blue. Purple was a big deal when we first started. There was like the purple was like, you might as well have been a black belt because there were so few. There was like a purple belt, maybe 2. My entire class when we started. And then, but now there's the spread between purple and black I view is pretty narrow, way closer than it used to be. Because you've got these 4-stripe purples who are like just vicious. So that's I don't know exactly someone who could strike and ground fighting. I mean, I think jiu-jitsu is simple, and it goes back into will it work on the street? Yeah, I'm going to avoid getting punched in the face until I can close the distance and get you to the ground.
Yeah, it's pretty simple.
Yeah, I'm going to back away. Like, I'm not going to get within striking distance of you. Period. I'm going to get you frustrated to where you try to bully me and dump me, and I'm going to take your head home with a guillotine. Like, that's kind of how that's going to go. You know, after I've done everything in my power to avoid it. You know what I mean? Dark alley, tough guys down there looking like they're trying to start a fight. I'm not going to go that way. You know, a guy who hits my shoulder, I'm not even going to turn around to see who it is. Like the one, there's no point. I'm going to keep walking. Okay. Because I'm not trying to get an altercation. So I hope that answers your question. Chad, here we go. Chad says, he had a longer question. My main question, this is Chad Hubert. He actually just joined our, for 24-month membership here. And he's on medical leave coming back this month, I think. So he's one of those that said, you mentioned last week, I hope I keep training. He said, I'm going to keep training. So congrats on that, Chad. So my question was mainly that now that BJJ gyms like Metro exists, I can't see how karate gyms are still a thing. So first off, I absolutely, there's no BJJ gym like Metro. Let's just get that out of the way. Secondly is karate. Respectfully, they are 2 different sports. Respectfully. So it's kind of like, how can Metro play? How can a sport like soccer still exist when a place like Metro exists? And the answer is simple. If what you're looking for is soccer, Metro isn't it. And if what you're looking for is Metro Jiu-Jitsu, soccer isn't it. Karate, and you've actually got more experience in the traditional art, striking art, is do you even spar in karate?
Today, it's not
we're talking today. I go to PKSA, and can I expect to spar right now?
If you pay an extra $49 or $59 a month
every class.
They baby their students. Yeah, it's not a culture of fighting.
Yeah. And so I bring that in, and that's why we're kind of we're well on our way to a waiting list with the kids, and B, it's also this is probably not good for PR, but I have and I will turn parents away. I will. I'll be hey, yeah, I want to sign little Johnny up. Sweet. Can you get him here 2 days a week? Can you get him here 2 days a week? And make sure and actually support him in this journey for a year? No, I can't do that. Awesome. Call us when you can, or call someone else who might just want your money for 4 weeks, because that's not us. So when we're looking at those things, when we talk about the differences, karate is very much give me your 4 weeks. pay for your belts. It's kind of like an intro to it. But then you also, once something goes to the ground, you guys keep walking. You don't have to stop right there. When something goes to the ground, they stop the fight. Is this correct? Like, you knock someone down, you kick someone hard enough, they go to the ground, they're like, okay, good job, stand back up. Is that how it works?
And it's actually like a point. You're in the Taekwondo karate today anyway. You strike them here once, they break it up and they stop.
Oh, you can't do like an 8-point Mortal Kombat combo?
No.
What?
No fancy moves.
Ooh.
Yeah, no.
Oh, wow. So that being said, and so everyone, like, and I'll just go on record to say, like, karate is very cheap. I feel like you could train karate for like $50 a month if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Like, it's practically like a subsidized government program at this point.
So his question was, rephrase that for me.
He's saying Metro is so, and correct me if I'm wrong, Metro is so far above the other karate Taekwondo schools. How can they even compete? Who would send their son to a karate program when Metro exists? Is this correct, Chad? And I'm rephrasing. I'm putting it on the screen so everyone can see. I'm just rephrasing what you asked. Is this correct? Give me a yes in the comments if that's yes. So that's what he's saying. Why would anyone send their son to a karate place when a place like Metro? Yeah. Boom. Correct, Coach. Absolutely. Yeah.
Because, simply put, because they're afraid that their children have glass jaws, which means they're afraid if they get hit, they'll get broken. Yeah. That's why they go to those places. And the truth is, no children have a glass jaw.
Yeah.
They're like Terminator, the guy who's chasing Terminator. They heal so quickly, you never have to worry about you almost never have to worry about kids getting injured in jiu-jitsu.
Way more malleable than adults.
We've had more students than I can tell you that have been injured at the job, off the mat, outside of here.
100%.
With Chad, I think you're the exception. Did he hurt his knee in here?
No, he was golfing.
He was he was golfing.
I haven't actually got the actual record of how much alcohol was involved in this golfing trip, but
Chad,
he shattered
freaking knee.
He
golfing?
shattered his ACL, and he said it was just by squatting, like he faked a shot. That's what he said. Now, I don't know if that's the story, so that insurance has to read. I don't know. I don't know if that's what he's sticking to.
Edit that part out.
The most vicious ACL tear I've ever seen, or whatever he did to his meniscus, shredded.
Well, that's my point. That the people usually have the injuries off the mat, and children are more injured off the mat. But it's what the fear is that my son or daughter is going to be broken emotionally.
Yeah.
Oh, they can't handle that.
And I'll add, they will be. If you don't support them.
You know what? Look,
they will be if you don't support them.
Look, if you or I walked into a room where they were doing surgery and we seen somebody's when they were cutting Amanda open, if we walked in on that, we're like, the body's exposed. We could see her organs. She's going to die.
Yeah, something's terribly wrong here.
Yeah, but you know what? The doctors and the surgeons do this every day, all day for a living. Yeah. They know where the real danger is.
Yep, absolutely.
And what the problem is, moms and dads try to jump in on a surgery that's going on. They have no idea what the hell's going on. They just see blood. They think it's death.
Or what a really good example of this, and you can really attest to this, is so after surgery, after major surgery like that, bones, whatever, what do they have you do?
Physical
therapy. Is that fun? Not really at all, right? Is it actually kind of painful?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it? And I've never had this done, and my mom and my father went through it, and plenty of others. There is a direct effect between how you follow through on the physical therapy. Complete it, show up every session, every time, complete it the whole time. Otherwise, your temporary pleasure, your temporary comfort will lead to much larger, much longer, much more painful pain. Correct?
Yeah.
That's what that's like. So you're coming in. Oh, little John. My daughter does this. She's actually gotten much better. I'm very proud of her. Don't tell her, she's about to earn her gray belt. So she doesn't have an iPhone, so she can't see this. But she used to cry and complain, and then once she realized that will get her nowhere. In fact, she's going to lose things when you cry and complain. Now,
hold on.
I support her.
Okay, let me just make a point here. David just threw out there that he's about to earn her gray belt. So that's a good example because his daughter trains and he knows
3 days a week, every week.
Yep. He knows enough to know that, okay, Now surgery's going on here. Obviously, when it's my daughter, I'm going to get more emotional. And, I might be a little bit tougher. I might be a little bit too nurturing for my daughter. So
Yeah.
I need to let some other doctors or professionals take care of my daughter, assess my daughter, and help my daughter with physical therapy. He had zero part to play with her getting promoted or basically anything in jiu-jitsu.
Same thing. Yeah.
There's other professionals on the mat,
Yeah.
and he lets them handle it. And that's, that goes to the point that
Exactly. And I'm glad you brought that up. I've seen her train for a year and a half. I've seen other kids start after, get their belts sooner, do worse, have worse attitudes, and as my like, hey, listen, we got to talk, like, this is an issue. No. And another person, Pedro mentioned it about Miguel. Your belt and putting a belt around your waist is relative to your potential and your ability and where you started. So like, if you have like an incredible, huge potential and I see like you can go really far, I'm going to expect a whole lot more out of you versus if you stepped on the mat and you had like a walker, or crutches or whatever. Like you can't expect the same things, but more so with kids mentally as well. If I see a kid and like you give me two kids, one who's screaming profanity as soon as he steps on the mat, and the other who is his very first day has black belt focus, I'm going to gauge them at where they started and their potential. Okay. And not to say that one is destined to be greater than the other, but it's like, you can't compare apples to oranges. So and I'm glad you pointed that out, because I have intentionally, my job as a parent, despite being a black belt on the mat, she sees me on the mat as a coach. It's my job as a parent to encourage her, to tell her how proud I am of her, to make jiu-jitsu fun for her, to say, you know what? I'm so proud of you. I know you were crying that match, but I like, you never gave up. And that's a black belt mindset. All of these things, because at best we see your kid 5 hours a week, best.
Yeah.
That leaves a whole lot of other hours for you, the parent. And if you're just trying to contract us to do your parenting for you, I have news. We are going to charge you a lot more money if we're going to be the parent for you than to parent with you.
Speaking of parents, if you're on here, homework was emailed to you for the children. Please print that out.
Right. And we're going to do the last one.
Okay.
What piece of advice would you give to your 16-year-old self?
Stop.
What's up, John?
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Stop.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Somebody detain and put this kid in solitary confinement for the next 10 years.
That would be
5 years.
That would be mine. That would be mine. Immediately after that, it would be buy Facebook. Immediately after that, or have an adult buy Facebook stock, and then wait till 2009 to buy a house.
Those are good advice.
That's good advice,
Yeah.
right? I heard something interesting. I think Tamaya Goodwin posted this. It's always easy. Let me just, before I lose it, it's always easy to look back 10, 15 years and give ourselves one simple piece of advice. But we're currently living in the past. Our past. Our present is the past of the future, and we're not taking our own little advice. Stop
Can you say that again?
Yeah, I can. So it's easy to look in the past and give ourselves one simple piece of advice. But the current present that we're living in is the past of the future. And we know little things that we should be doing, little pieces of advice that we're not taking.
So what is that one stock tip that we're going to regret not buying?
Not necessarily. I'm not your financial advisor, but I will promise
This
you,
is for entertainment purposes
if
only.
you're thinking about training jiu-jitsu now and you wait and you start in 5 years, you could have been a purple belt by the time you started in the future versus pulling the trigger now. I am fully qualified to give you that advice as a jiu-jitsu coach. But I'm sure there's other financial guys who'd be like, hey, go buy X, but I'm not that guy.
Yeah, you could be a purple belt in 5 years.
Yeah,
with
right.
enough training, you could actually be at a black belt level. There's purple belts all day long that are able to be black belts after 4 or 5 years of training.
Right on. So that's it. Like this podcast is going to end a little bit sooner. We got some afternoon classes getting ready to start. And as always, guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, like and subscribe, follow, comment. That really helps us. Share this with somebody who needs it. tag them, like us, all the actions on social, because that really helps us. And it's like, because when you do that, guess what? You get to see more of us, and that gets you one step closer to actually pulling the trigger, getting in here to train. So I'm Coach David here with Professor Muhammad. As always, we'll see you guys on the mats. We got to end that one too.